It's such a treat to be able to do this. We've been recognizing pioneering faculty at Aspen since 1999. These are superb scholars and exceptional teachers who are, I think, the kinds of people Darren might refer to as the disruptors. And they've really been bringing critical questions about the purpose of business and business success into their classroom. We're going to recognize this year's finalists and winners, but I think we have a couple past award winners in the room, and I just want to recognize them too. I think Carrie Liana is there. You could just wave. Andy Hoffman is there. Is Prakash Sethi still here? I saw him earlier in the day. I didn't see him in the audience, from Baruch. So we are glad to have them back with us. And so tonight we're honoring 3 of this year's Faculty Pioneer finalists and 2 of our winners who are here in person. These are all celebrated academics. I wish I had time tonight to give you the whole picture. You would hear about their teaching awards, about their contributions to research that's had real impact, about their service to their communities and to their institutions, but we don't have time. If I did have that time, I can assure you, you will be dazzled. And if you want to know more, their bios and also the syllabi for their courses are online at caseplace.org. caseplace.org. Feel free to peruse it, and you can learn more about these finalists and winners. What I want to emphasize before I introduce them is that all of the Faculty Pioneer winners and finalists this year have one thing in common in their teaching, which relates to why they're being honored tonight. They are all teaching innovative courses that help their graduate students examine how the private and the public sectors actually work in tandem to create value and solve problems. Now, in these days of divisive discourse and a tendency to look to the other to assign blame, it's refreshing to know that there are faculty who are there who are giving students an opportunity to think differently. So what I'm going to do is introduce our finalists and our award winners, and we're just going to ask each to come up after I've introduced you and shake hands, get your plaque, and we'll get a photo. So these are photo ops, and I'm just going to tell you again, just give you a glimpse. So first, Anat Admati, whom you just heard. You may know her new book, The Banker's New Clothes, What's Wrong with Banking and What to Do About It. It's created waves, as you might imagine, in the finance community, but has resulted in opportunities for her to testify before the Senate, have lunch with the president. But for us tonight, the important thing is that she's taking these messages to students as well. And she has long been a member of the finance faculty at Stanford, and she's now teaching a course called Finance and Society that talks about the role of the financial system within the broader society. And I am pleased to honor tonight Professor Admati as a Faculty Pioneer finalist. You got to get the photo. A moment for the photo op. You got it? Good. Okay. Next, I'd like to introduce John Mahon. The contributions that Professor Mahon has made to the field of management are legion. Tonight, we want to call attention just to one course, a course that he developed at the University of Maine, where he teaches. And he developed it, very interestingly, in partnership with a renowned climate scientist and an expert in federal government policy and legislation. The course is called Abrupt Climate Change, Business and Public Policy. Those of you in academia know what a challenge it is to create courses that are team-taught and multidisciplinary. But Professor Mann did it, and his students are certainly the beneficiaries. Pleased to honor Professor Mann as a faculty pioneer finalist. Next, I'd like to introduce Barry Mitnick. Professor Mitnick is a leading scholar of regulation and corporate political activity who has served in leadership roles both at his current institution, the Katz School at the University of Pittsburgh, and also with the leading organizations in his field over many years. One of his courses, called Business and Politics, which he developed since the financial crisis, helps business school students understand and examine the increasing interdependence of business and government. And in this course, he asks students to examine the causes of the financial crisis and the critical decisions that government and regulated firms could make to ameliorate that situation, and hopefully in the future can make to avoid the next crisis. So we're pleased to honor Professor Mitnick as a faculty pioneer finalist. The winners of this year's Faculty Pioneer Awards come from institutions on opposite coasts. First, let me introduce Ryan Cabinte. Professor Cabinte is Associate Dean at Presidio Graduate School in San Francisco. Calling upon his work as a practicing attorney and also as an expert in private equity, he has designed and is teaching a required course called Market Failure and the Regulatory Environment. In this course, Professor Cabinte encourages students to develop new solutions that reach across all sectors. He helps students learn to transcend that mental model that puts business, government, and civil society into silos. And with that mental model, it's very hard to begin to imagine more integrative approaches to creating value and solving problems. We are delighted to honor Professor Cabinte as our 2014 Faculty Pioneer Award winner. Now I'd like to introduce Mary Margaret Frank. Professor Frank is a professor of accounting and taxation, and she's also taken on responsibility for being the academic director at Darden's Institute for Business and Society. In her courses over the years, she's helped students understand that taxation and accounting more broadly, at its most fundamental level, is actually a public-private partnership, and that it involves government, business, and society. Recently, Professor Frank created a cross-disciplinary course that's entitled the National Debt Seminar. It involves graduate students from 7 schools at the University of Virginia. Together, in this seminar, they engage in a discussion about the impact of the national debt on their future. And the course culminates in the production of an online educational video that's aimed at actually raising awareness of the national debt. We are pleased tonight to honor Mary Margaret Frank as a 2014 Faculty Pioneer Award winner. Thank you very much. I hope that you will stay and join us for a reception upstairs to meet these faculty pioneers. Judy, you want to just bring it to a close here?
It's been a great afternoon. We're glad you're here, and I think we're all ready for a drink upstairs.